we develop and keep good talent? So tech talent retention is a huge problem for most companies, not just tech companies. Right now, most hiring is done from competitors and vice versa, so companies have to keep replacing those that leave. The Census and Bureau of Labor Statistics show that 95% of hiring is done to fill existing positions. LinkedIn data also indicates that the most common reason that employees consider a position elsewhere is career advancement, which is surely tied to employers not promoting to fill vacancies. We need to recognize the cost of replacing an employee. It's much cheaper to try to keep someone than it is to replace them. In fact, the Society for Human Resource Management said that on average, it costs a company 6 to 9 months of an employee's salary to replace him or her. Okay, so that means an employee making $60,000 a year, that comes out to $30,000 to $45,000 roughly in recruiting and training costs. You've got retraining, you've got loss of productivity, loss of institutional knowledge, a negative impact on your company culture, and you've got time and money spent trying to find a replacement. In fact, in the first 5 months of 2019, it took US employers on average 66 days to hire a new tech employee. And that's up from 55 days just 3 years before. It takes about 50% longer to hire a tech than it does any other role. Keeping in mind that employee retention is prime for building your tech team and keeping your tech team. So invest in your people. Sometimes we spend so much time trying to find new talent that we forget to invest in the talent we have. Now, I have an analogy to that that's not exactly on point, but I was a customer of a particular phone company that will remain unnamed, that every year, just almost like clockwork, they would just raise my rates every year. Didn't say anything, just next bill was higher. And I would have to call and talk to them, and they'd say, yeah, our costs have gone up, blah, blah, blah. Over the years, we decided that was not going to be feasible. They were giving all the deals to the new customers. New customers could sign on, get free phones, get a cheaper deal for a year or two. And so we switched companies to a different mobile company that will remain unnamed. Every year, they didn't just raise our rates. When they did have to raise our rates, they would let us know this is why we're getting new taxes or something. But they even went so far as to thank us for being loyal customers and lowering our rates randomly. And I think that when we look at that from an internal talent perspective, with our people that we already have, are we investing so much in hiring other people that we forget to invest in the people we have? Now, investing in the people we have, that improves retention. And it means, okay, how do we invest in people? Adequate pay and benefits. We need to pay people enough to take money off the table. And I'll talk a little more about that in a bit. It also means investing in education. There's so many great online resources out there, some of them free even, which can help tech workers stay up to date and learn new skills. So sometimes it's an investment of time allotment so they can learn on the job. Other times it's cost for a particular educational program or certificate. But making that investment to their education, their upward growth. Promoting from within, that's a hard one. So necessary. If people don't feel like they have that upward mobility, then they'll go find a place where they can get that. In fact, the majority of people who are active job seekers are moving because of career opportunity, which means they don't feel like they have career opportunity at the place they are. And then the last one I'd say is creating and supporting a structured mentoring program. And we'll talk about that as well in depth a little more. The next about how to develop and keep good talent, know what motivates your employees and build your culture accordingly. For years, our primary tool in recruiting has been kind of what we call a stick and carrot, right? It's a motivation. It's do well, you get a reward, do badly, you get punished. That's been for years the corporate mantra almost. So when we think about hiring away from other companies, we pay more than the next company. We offer better benefits. We provide better perks. We put ping pong tables in and foosball tables, or we provide free meals. But science teaches us that these motivators and demotivators are not necessarily opposites, but they're different categories. And that money is not a motivator. It's at best not a demotivator. What does that mean? What that means is that, again, we need to pay enough to take money off the table. 62% of employees leave their jobs for reasons other than inadequate pay and benefits. There are a lot of other reasons they leave. I want to talk about these three things here, these intrinsic motivators. If you look at Dan Pink's book called Drive, he said that there are basically three intrinsic motivational factors, and research has identified this and said that paying people more doesn't necessarily give you better performance. In fact, it doesn't lead to employee satisfaction. But he's identified three. He's identified autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is the need to direct your own life and work. Can I work how I want? Can I solve problems the way I want? Do I have flexibility in how I approach my job? Do I have control over my career? Mastery is the desire to improve. Do I have opportunities to get better at what I do? Are there educational opportunities available to me? Is the company invested in my success? And is there opportunity for career advancement? And the last one is purpose. Does the organization that I work for do something with purpose? Does my job matter? One quote from Dan Pink is, those who believe that they're working towards something larger and more important than themselves are often the most hardworking, productive, and engaged. So am I making a difference each day with what I do? And science has shown that these three motivators are greater indicators of job satisfaction and job retention than salary, bonuses, or corner offices. We should work to build a culture around that, to where we can promote cooperation rather than competitiveness, where team members feel valued and respected, where real teamwork is encouraged, gratitude is shared and success is celebrated. We want to avoid blame, failure is forgiven. Our motto here is fail fast. Let's figure out what doesn't work as fast as we can figure out what works, and it's okay to fail. And emphasize the meaningfulness of the work that you're doing as an organization, as a team. Build a culture of trust. With trust comes vulnerability sometimes. It starts at the leadership. Also, build a culture that values transparency. So 70% of employees felt more engaged in companies where information of value, like company goals, objectives, individual organization execution, are clearly communicated. So they feel like they're a part of it. They feel like they're making a difference. So companies with highly engaged employees. So we know positive culture fosters employee engagement. Those three motivators lead to job satisfaction and employee engagement. And we know that companies with highly engaged employees, they have 18% higher productivity. They've got 60% fewer errors and defects. They even have 100% more job applicants. These are unsolicited job applicants, and 16% higher profitability. So it's totally worth it to invest in your culture. And saying, well, what culture am I investing? What do you mean culture? It's kind of like a fish saying, what water? Your culture exists whether you want it to or not. So you can either build a good one, or whatever is built will be built. And that's this right here, Daniel Coyle from the Culture Code. He said that culture is intentional. It's built over time through small signals. When we feel safe, connected, and share accurate information, we can accomplish incredible things together. Absolutely agree with that, 100%.